What's up, y'all? It's Taylor here. We're in a series called Jesus Is, and here's what I want to do. There's this incredibly dope TV show called The Chosen. I don't know if you heard of it, but it's amazing. And it gives us a look into the life of Jesus. Honestly, if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. You're missing out. We are going to take a look at some of these episodes, and we're going to find out who Jesus is. And I hope as we are going through these episodes, you not only discover who Jesus is, but you're also challenged to look and live more like Jesus, to be Christ-centered. So let's just jump in. Here we go. Let's jump into the first clip of this TV show, The Chosen. Oh, okay, stop really quick. Come on! My boy Jesus and his disciples are dope. Like, Jesus' hair is flowing in the wind. They look like they're in a music video about to roll up and drop some sick bars. Jesus and his boys in the back about to pull up to a city near you and heal some people. Pretty cool, right?
Halt! Jewish citizens!
Everyone remain calm.
Disarm yourselves and leave your bags. You're carrying ours now.
Under Roman law, a soldier can force a Jew to carry his things.
At random.
There is a legal limit, a maximum of 1 mile and no further.
Okay. Two big things you cannot miss here. Here's the first thing. There is clearly a complicated, tense relationship between the Roman guards and Jesus and his disciples. These Roman guards do not like them. It's clear based off of this short interaction. Jesus even turns back to his disciples and says, "Everyone remain calm." So to me, it's giving panic. It shows me that not only do these Roman guards not like Jesus and his crew, but Jesus and the disciples feel some level of threat towards the Roman guards. Jesus and his disciples, they were Jewish. And at this point in history, there was tension between the Jews and the Romans because the Roman Empire took over Israel, the Jewish people's home. So I guess you could say the Jews and the Romans got along just as well as, I don't know, Drake and Kendrick Lamar. Not great, basically enemies. But the second thing that is important not to miss in this clip is what the guards asked Jesus and his crew to do. They forced them to carry all of their heavy military equipment for a mile. And there is nothing that Jesus and his crew can do about it because of a law. This law basically states that at any time, a Roman guard can force a Jew to carry their stuff for the distance of 1 mile. And remember, the Roman Empire took over the Jewish people's land, so they have to do this. Imagine if someone you didn't like at all forced you to carry their backpack filled with textbooks at school in the Phoenix heat. Sounds great, right? No, not great, Bob. All right, let's hop back in.
Master, this is humiliating.
We will comply with dignity.
Quick pause here. Okay, so here we have Jesus talking to Peter, one of the disciples. It's pretty clear that Peter has a pretty short fuse and at any moment could go all crazy on these guards. But Jesus does what Jesus does. He does something that catches Peter off guard. He says, "We will comply with dignity." Now, if I'm Peter, this is not what I would have expected. I mean, come on. These guards are our enemies, right?
Hurry along, rats! Rats with nice hats.
Now, okay, pause really quick. If someone is calling me a rat, there is a good shot that we are throwing fists, we are throwing hands. I'm just saying.
Master, let me take that. You should
No,
not have to.
no. There's no more unsuitable on my head than any of yours.
We both know that is not true.
Thank you for your concern, Judith.
Did you see that? Not only are they forced to to carry the guards' heavy stuff, but they also had to drop their personal belongings. Everything they owned is dropped on this road. It could get stolen. This is a terrible run-in with the Roman guards, and it just keeps heading in the wrong direction.
Dad, I got you. It's not that I'm humiliated. I am. It's that I'm so murderously angry they're doing this to him.
I've done this plenty. It doesn't get any easier the next time.
Murderously angry. Whoa. Those are strong words from one of the disciples. They're seeing red. The disciples are unhinged and can't believe the humiliation these guards are putting them and Jesus through. This moment, I imagine, is confirming everything they believed about the Romans. They are indeed their enemies. Now, murderously angry might seem like a little bit of an exaggerated way of communicating his anger. But come on, let's be real. We've all been there. Someone that we just didn't get along with, someone we just didn't like, maybe someone that we would even label as our enemy. They did something to you, said something about you, treated you in a way that was terrible. You know what that anger feels like. And you know exactly how you want to express that anger with your enemy. You want to take it out on them. Murderously angry doesn't actually seem that crazy when you put it into perspective.
I never could have imagined a moment like this.
We said to submit, so we submit.
The painful irony of some of his teaching.
As Peter is walking, carrying the Roman guard's stuff, he makes this comment about submitting to what Jesus tells them to do. It makes me think of a verse in the book of James. James 4:7 says this: "Submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you." Can we just be honest? Submitting to what God tells us to do, it's great in theory until you have to put it into practice. In this case, I can't blame the disciples for being angry for what is happening. They know Jesus wants to carry the soldiers' stuff, but come on, it's their enemy. Doesn't Jesus know that they've literally hurt them? The Romans have time and time again mistreated the Jews. This can't be easy.
Hyrcanus, the sign is the mile marker. In your entire lives, I bet you've never been so grateful for the enshrined Roman law.
We know this has been an honor for all of you.
Stop here! I said stop!
This is Jesus' moment, right? Jesus just turned around and he is about to give it to him. Let's go, Jesus. Destroy them.
The destination is that outpost a mile ahead, yes?
It is, but we're only permitted 1 mile.
By coercion. There's no law against citizens assisting you the rest of the way of their own volition. Come, my friends.
But
if anyone says anything, say that we offered.
Wait, what? I can't believe what just happened. Can you believe that? Jesus and the disciples have been humiliated by the Roman guards. They're enemies. They finished the task. They should be done with this charade. It's finally over. But then Jesus offers to carry their stuff another mile? What?
Rabbi, what are we doing? Why would we just help Romans?
Judas, where did we meet?
By the Sherman on the Chorazin Plain.
Good. Whenever you are troubled, think back on my message.
I see what Jesus is doing. I think I understand what he is trying to show the disciples. In this interaction with a disciple, Jesus references the Chorazin Plain. This is where Jesus gave one of his most important teachings, the Sermon on the Mount. And if I were to guess, he is living out Matthew 5:43 through 46. You've heard that it was said, love your neighbor and hate your enemy. But I tell you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you, that you may be children of your Father in heaven. He causes the sun to rise on the evil and the good and sends rain on the righteous and the unrighteous. If you love those who love you, what reward will you get? Are not even the tax collectors doing that? If I know anything about Jesus, he always does the unthinkable. Jesus is showing them what it means to love their enemy. I get what Jesus is doing. But still, what good could come from this? Like, these are still their enemies. This is still the Roman guard.
Maybe, let us take back the helmets. So there's no confusion at the outpost.
If you like.
I'll take it. I've got it.
Hey, if anyone forces you to go 1 mile,
Go with him too.
There it is. There it is. That's what Jesus is trying to show them. Jesus is trying to show them that we get to love our enemy in this moment. Jesus understood that the only way we can diffuse hate with our enemies is to love them. And what better way to do that than to serve them? Jesus didn't just preach about loving your enemies. Jesus is a friend to our enemies. I don't know if you caught that at the end, but it looked like a couple of disciples finally understood what Jesus was doing. One of the disciples says, if anyone forces you to go 1 mile, go with them too. Those are Jesus' exact words in Matthew 5:41. The same message where Jesus is talking about loving your enemies. This had to have been a crazy moment for the disciples. Now, don't get me wrong, it's never easy to love our enemies. But for the first time in their life, they saw how loving their enemy was more powerful than hate. They saw Jesus do something that was opposite of what they knew. And the result? The Roman guards started to take their stuff back. Hard to hate someone that you serve. Jesus is a friend to our enemies. And students, Jesus calls you to be a friend to your enemy.